Listen closely, chosen one. You are being called by name. At this very moment, a divine light is breaking through the dense, heavy atmosphere of your current season. This is not an accident of technology. This is not a random occurrence generated by a mechanical algorithm. This is a deliberate, sovereign, and holy appointment designed by the Creator of the universe specifically for you. The Father has looked down upon your path. He has seen the weight you are carrying, and He has spoken a direct command to pause your journey right here, at this very threshold, to receive His word. You are not here by chance. You have been handpicked and summoned into this space because your period of hiddenness is reaching its ordained completion. The long years of preparation are culminating in a monumental shift, and the Creator of heaven and earth is declaring that you have been chosen for a grand, holy purpose that the world cannot stop, cannot dilute, and cannot take away from you. Hear this truth deep within your spirit. God knows your name, He knows your location, and He has directed this voice to find you precisely where you are. He has seen you in the quiet places. He has watched you struggle under the heavy, silent pressure of your daily life. You have felt as though you were walking through a wasteland, carrying burdens that no one else could see, crying tears that no one else could understand. But the Lord says to you today that your period of isolation was not a punishment. It was a holy consecration. He has set you apart because He is preparing to do something through your life that requires a foundation of absolute steel. Do not turn away from this summons. Do not close your heart to this message, because what is about to be revealed to you will alter the course of your destiny. Let us speak of the reality of your current path. We must pull back the curtain on the silent battles you have been fighting when the lights are off and the rest of the world is asleep. You have carried a heavy, exhausting weight in your body and your mind. You have woken up in the early hours of the morning with your heart racing, feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, wondering how you will survive another day of the same cycle. You have looked at your life and wondered why the promises of God seem so far removed from the actual details of your daily experience. You have felt a deep, aching fatigue that sleep cannot cure, a tiredness of the soul that comes from years of standing, years of praying, years of hoping, only to meet the same closed doors, the same rejections, and the same agonizing silence. You have watched as your relationships have broken down, piece by piece. You have experienced the bitter sting of betrayal from people you loved, people you supported, people you built up when they were at their lowest. You thought they would be there for you when your storm arrived, but instead, they walked away. They left you to clean up the wreckage alone. You have sat in empty rooms, looking at your phone, realizing that no one is checking on you, no one is asking how you are holding up, and no one is carrying the burden with you. You have been forced to become strong in the places where you were broken, but the truth is you are tired of being strong. You are tired of being the anchor for everyone else while you are drifting in the middle of a violent sea. You have experienced a severe drought in your finances. You have watched your resources dry up despite your hard work, your faithfulness, and your integrity. You have sowed seeds of generosity, you have paid your bills with honesty, and you have trusted the system, yet you have found yourself in a constant cycle of lack, of struggle, and of barely making it through. You have looked at your bank accounts with a heavy heart, feeling the physical pressure in your chest as you try to make calculations that do not add up. You have asked yourself why those who do not fear God, those who act with deceit and greed, seem to prosper and live in ease, while you, who have sought to walk uprightly, are forced to scrape together the bare minimum. You have felt a profound, exhausting silence in your calling. You know that there is a fire inside of you. You know that you were created for more than just survival, more than just paying bills and waiting to die. You have felt the stirring of greatness, the promptings of the Holy Spirit, the dreams that kept you awake at night when you were younger. Yet, when you tried to step into those dreams, you were met with walls. You were met with opposition from people who should have encouraged you. You were met with your own physical and mental limitations. You have felt like a prisoner in your own life, locked behind bars of circumstance, watching others step into their platforms, their ministries, their businesses, and their joy, while you remain hidden in the dark, forgotten by the very people you were sent to serve. Let us walk through the spaces of your mind where the enemy has tried to build strongholds of despair. You thought you were forgotten when the doors slammed shut in your face, one after the other, despite your fasting and your prayers. You thought you were abandoned when the medical report came back with no answers, and the pain in your body remained, nagging at you day and night. You thought you were forgotten when your family members turned their backs on you, mockingly asking where your God was now that you were in the dust. You thought you were abandoned when the business failed, when the job application was rejected, when the marriage crumbled, and when you were left with nothing but the pieces of a life you spent decades building. You thought you were forgotten when you cried out to God in the middle of the night, screaming into the empty air, asking why He had brought you into the wilderness just to let you die of thirst. You thought you were abandoned when the friends who once sat at your table became the very people who whispered about your downfall behind your back. You thought you were forgotten when the years kept passing, and the gray hair began to show, and the dreams of your youth felt like a cruel joke played on a naive heart. You thought you were abandoned when the heavens turned to brass, and every prayer you uttered felt like it was bouncing off the ceiling, falling back down to the earth as dead weight. But the Lord says to you today, I have never left you. I have never turned my back on you. Every single tear you dropped in that cold room was caught in my bottle. Every sigh that escaped your lips when you did not have the words to pray was understood by my Spirit. I was there in the betrayal. I was there in the financial ruin. I was there when they walked away from you. I was the one who closed those doors. I was the one who removed those people from your life. I was the one who permitted the drought, not to destroy you, but to save you from a harvest that would have poisoned your destiny. Write this down in the tablet of your heart and declare it with boldness. I want you to enter into a holy agreement with heaven right now. Go to the comments section and type this prophetic declaration. My wilderness was not my burial, it was my preparation. Type it with authority. Type it as an act of spiritual warfare, letting the principalities of darkness know that you are reclaiming your narrative. Let us journey back into the ancient paths, into the sacred texts, to understand the pattern of your preparation. Look at the life of Joseph. Joseph was a young man with a grand, divine dream. He saw the stars and the sun bowing down to him. He saw the sheaves of wheat in the field bending in his direction. It was a beautiful, positive, radiant calling. But immediately after receiving the dream, Joseph was not put on a throne. He was thrown into a deep, dark pit by his own brothers, the very people who should have protected him, the very people who shared his blood. They looked at his coat of many colors, and they hated him for the favor that was upon his life. They plotted his death, and eventually they sold him into slavery. Consider the absolute agony of Joseph's mind as he sat in the dark pit, listening to his brothers eat a meal above him, deciding his fate. He had done nothing wrong. He had only shared what God had shown him. Yet he was stripped of his identity, stripped of his family, and carried away in chains to a foreign land. He had to serve in the house of Potiphar, working as a slave, keeping his integrity intact, only to be falsely accused of a crime he did not commit. He was thrown into the deep dungeons of Egypt, forgotten by the cupbearer, left to rot in the dark for years. Why did God allow Joseph to sit in that prison? Why did the Creator of the universe allow the dream to look like a nightmare for 13 long years? Because you cannot govern a nation with the character of a spoiled child. The pit was necessary to break Joseph's reliance on his father's favoritism. The prison was necessary to teach him how to manage resources, how to interpret dreams under pressure, and how to develop a heart that could forgive the very people who betrayed him. If Joseph had gone straight from the dream to the throne, he would have destroyed the kingdom with his pride. The delay was not a denial. It was the construction of a leader who could sustain a global harvest during a time of famine. Look at David, the shepherd boy. He was anointed by the prophet Samuel in front of his brothers. The oil was poured on his head, declaring that he would be the next king of Israel. It was a glorious, divine appointment. But what followed the oil? Did David immediately walk into the palace and sit on the throne? No, he went back to tending his father's sheep. He was sent to run errands for his brothers. And when he finally killed Goliath and became a hero, his reward was not peace. It was a decades-long hunt. King Saul, possessed by a demonic spirit of jealousy, sought to take David's life. David was forced to flee into the wilderness. He lived in the cold, damp caves of Adullam. He had to pretend to be a madman, letting saliva run down his beard in front of foreign kings just to survive. He was surrounded by a band of men who were distressed, in debt, and discontented. Men who were broken and bitter. David, the anointed king, had to sleep on dirt floors, running from mountain to mountain, hiding in the rocks, wondering why the oil of Samuel had led him to the dust of the desert. He cried out in the Psalms, asking how long the Lord would forget him, how long his enemy would be exalted over him. Yet it was in the caves of Adullam that David became a warrior. It was in the wilderness that he learned how to seek the Lord for every single step. It was in the dark, cold nights that he penned the songs that would heal the hearts of millions for generations to come. The cave was the womb of his kingship. If David had not been chased by Saul, he would not have known how to be a shepherd to a broken nation. The chase was not his destruction. It was the process that made him a man after God's own heart. Consider Ruth. She experienced the ultimate devastation of grief. She lost her husband, her father-in-law, and her brother-in-law in a foreign land. She was left with nothing but an aging mother-in-law, Naomi, and a landscape of empty graves. Ruth had every reason to return to her pagan gods, to her family, to her comfort zone in Moab. But she made a decision of absolute consecration. She walked into Bethlehem as a destitute widow, forced to glean in the fields behind the harvesters, picking up the leftover scraps of grain that fell to the dirt. Can you imagine the humility required for Ruth, a proud woman, to bend her back under the hot sun, gathering the waste of others just to keep herself and Naomi alive? She was mocked by the other workers. She was looked down upon as a foreigner, an outcast, a woman of sorrow. But she kept gleaning. She did not complain. She did not demand her rights. And because she stayed faithful to her small assignment in the dirt, she caught the eye of Boaz, the Lord of the harvest. Her gleaning in the dirt led her to the ownership of the entire field, and she became the great-grandmother of King David, securing her place in the direct lineage of Jesus Christ. Look at Nehemiah. He was called by God to rebuild the broken walls of Jerusalem. He left his comfortable position as the cupbearer to the king to do a holy work. But the moment he began to build, opposition arose. Sanballat and Tobiah came to mock him. They laughed at his efforts, saying that if a fox climbed up on the stone walls Nehemiah was building, they would crumble. They plotted to attack the builders. They sent false messages to distract him, trying to lure him down from the wall to destroy him. Nehemiah's builders were exhausted. The rubble was vast, and their strength was failing. They had to work with a trowel in one hand and a sword in the other, constantly on guard, sleeping in their clothes, never taking off their armor. It was an intense, high-pressure, exhausting season. But Nehemiah did not come down. He recognized that the opposition was proof of the importance of his work. He knew that the enemy does not fight over empty land. The enemy only fights where there is a city worth saving. And look at Hagar in the desert, cast out by Abraham and Sarah, sent away into the dry, burning wilderness with nothing but a skin of water and a loaf of bread. When the water was gone, she put her child under a bush and walked away, unable to watch her son die of thirst. She sat down a distance off and wept aloud in her despair. She felt completely discarded, used, and thrown away like garbage by the spiritual leaders of her home. But in her deepest moment of isolation, the angel of God called to her from heaven. God did not just provide a cup of water. He opened her eyes to see a well that was already there, hidden in plain sight. He spoke a covenant over her son, declaring that he would become a great nation. Hagar gave God a name that remains an anchor for every hurting soul today: El Roi, the God who sees me. She realized that you can be cast out by human systems. You can be rejected by spiritual authorities. You can be left to die in the desert. But the God of heaven will find you in your dust and open your eyes to the living water that will sustain your future. Chosen one, do you see yourself in these archetypes? You are Joseph in the dungeon. You are David in the cave of Adullam. You are Ruth gleaning in the dirt. You are Nehemiah standing on the wall, refusing to come down despite the mockery. You are Hagar crying out in the dry wilderness. Your life is not a series of random, chaotic disasters. It is a carefully orchestrated script of divine preparation. Take a moment to let this truth settle into your soul. Go to the comments section right now and write this second prophetic declaration. The God who sees me is turning my cave into a kingdom. State it with complete confidence. Let your fingers type the words as a physical act of faith, releasing the heavy burden of abandonment. To understand the deeper theology of your suffering, we must turn to the profound wisdom of C.S. Lewis. In his masterpiece, The Problem of Pain, Lewis addresses the reality of our struggles with intellectual and spiritual precision. He wrote, "God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pain. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Consider this deeply. Your season of pain was not God's rejection of you. It was his megaphone. He had to allow the world around you to go completely silent. He had to allow the distractions to be removed so that you could hear his voice with absolute clarity. When everything was going well, when the money was flowing, when the friends were cheering, you could not hear the quiet, steady instructions of the Spirit. God had to bring you into the wilderness, where there was nothing but him, to speak directly to your heart. He had to rouse you from the spiritual slumber of complacency. Furthermore, Lewis provides us with a magnificent illustration of how God works within the architecture of our lives. In Mere Christianity, he invites us to picture ourselves as a living house. Imagine yourself as a living house. God comes in to rebuild that house. At first, perhaps you can understand what he is doing. He is getting the drains right and stopping the leaks in the roof and so on. You knew that those jobs wanted doing, and so you are not surprised. But presently he starts knocking the house about in a way that hurts abominably and does not seem to make any sense. What on earth is he up to? The explanation is that he is building quite a different house from the one you thought of. Throwing out a new wing here, putting on an extra floor there, running up towers, making courtyards. You thought you were being made into a decent little cottage. But he is building a palace. He intends to come and live in it himself. This is exactly what has been happening to you, chosen one. You wanted God to perform a simple repair on your life. You wanted him to fix your existing job, to mend your temporary relationship, to give you just enough money to get by, to keep you comfortable in your little cottage. But God saw a kingly destiny in you. He saw a queenly authority in you. He knew that the small cottage of your old character could not hold the weight of the glory he intends to pour out through you. So he started knocking your house about. He tore down the walls of your comfort zone. He ripped out the foundations of your human dependency. He permitted the financial structure to collapse. He allowed the toxic relationships to be demolished. It hurt abominably. It did not make sense to you. You cried out, "Lord, why are you destroying my life?" But he was not destroying your life. He was throwing out a new wing of spiritual authority. He was building an extra floor of endurance. He was running up towers of discernment and constructing courtyards of peace. He is building a palace because he intends to rule and reign through your life in a way that will shock everyone who once knew you in your humble, broken state. The delay you have experienced was actually divine surgery. If God had given you the platform when you wanted it, the applause of men would have destroyed you. If he had given you the wealth when you were immature, you would have squandered it on things that did not matter. He had to do deep root work in your soul. He had to cut off the dead branches of pride, of people-pleasing, of insecurity, and of fear. He had to break your reliance on human validation. You used to need the approval of others to feel valuable. You used to seek the applause of the crowd to feel chosen. But in the quiet, painful years of your isolation, God broke that addiction. He made you comfortable with being misunderstood. He made you content with being hidden. He taught you how to look into the mirror and see His image, rather than looking to the world for your identity. Now, you no longer need the crowd to tell you who you are. You know who you are because you have been marked by the blood of the Lamb, tested in the fire of affliction, and approved by the King of Kings. We are entering a moment of sudden transition. The atmosphere is shifting even as these words are being spoken. The courtroom of heaven has sat in session, and the righteous judge has looked at your faithfulness in the dark. He has seen your obedience when it cost you everything. He has evaluated your integrity when you were being slandered. He has watched you keep your hands clean and your heart pure, even when the enemy tempted you to retaliate, to compromise, or to give up. The legal rights of the enemy over your life are being revoked. The spirit of delay, the spirit of lack, the spirit of heavy oppression, and the spirit of constant warfare are being served with a divine eviction notice. The blood of Jesus Christ has paid the price for your restoration, and the Father is declaring that the time of your confinement is over. We are stepping into a season of divine acceleration. What took others 20 years to build, God is going to do in your life in 20 weeks. What was stolen from you during the years of the locust, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar is being restored to you with double portion interest. The doors that were slammed in your face will now open of their own accord, and no man, no demon, and no earthly authority will be able to shut them. The Lord says to you, I am bringing you into your suddenlies. Suddenly, the financial resource will appear from a source you did not see coming. Suddenly, the physical pain that has plagued your body for years will dissolve under the warmth of my healing power. Suddenly, the right people, your divine connections, your Boaz, your destiny helpers, will walk into your life, recognizing the favor upon you without you having to explain or defend yourself. Suddenly, your business, your ministry, your creative projects will gain momentum that cannot be stopped by human hands. You will look back at your wilderness and you will not see pain. You will see the exquisite craftsmanship of God. You will realize that every tear was necessary. Every closed door was a shield. Every betrayal was a passport to your promotion. You will stand in your palace, looking at the towers and the courtyards of your restored life, and you will say with absolute conviction, the Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Take a deep breath. Let the peace of God, which transcends all human understanding, flood your physical body right now. Let the tension leave your shoulders. Let the tightness in your chest loosen. The war is over. The struggle is transitioning into a harvest. The king is stepping into his palace, and you are about to see the manifestation of every promise you held onto in the dark. I want you to make one final, powerful prophetic declaration to seal this word in the spiritual realm. Go to the comments section and write this with all the faith inside your soul. I receive my sudden season of divine acceleration and complete restoration. Write it down. Make it permanent. Let it stand as a witness in the spiritual archives that you have believed the report of the Lord. As an act of faith to show your alignment with this word, like this message and subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you are joining a community of chosen ones who are rising up in this hour, refusing to be silent, refusing to be defeated, and stepping boldly into their divine authority. Share this word with someone who is currently sitting in their cave, someone who is about to give up, so they too can hear the megaphone of God calling them out of the dark. The Father blesses you today. He keeps you. He makes his face to shine upon you and gives you peace. You are highly favored, deeply loved, and destined for a breakthrough that will leave the world in absolute awe of the God you serve. Go forth in this strength, chosen one. Your time has come.